Lord.
Welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I am Laura Simmons.
I am Ursula D. Allen.
I am Michael Hurt.
I am Margaret Greene, the real estate queen.
All right, y'all. So today is Let's Talk About It Tuesday. So let's get started, y'all.
I just got the YouTube reminder. That's why I was pausing. I just got the YouTube reminder.
Oh, that it was getting ready to go live or that it went live?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So y'all wanna start out with what I wanted to start out with is I want to let each one of you guys tell your name and explain who you are and things like that. Something simple. Don't go into your whole career and all that stuff. Just something simple. Just to let people know who's on the show. So go ahead. We'll start with you, Margaret.
I'm Margaret Greene, recently retired from state government. I'm on my second career act as a real estate agent.
Okay.
And I am enjoying life right now.
All
Amen.
right. Amen. Okay.
Okay, I guess I'll go. I'm Ursula D. Allen. I am a mother of three, new grandmother of one cutie cute tootie. Um, and I'm a writer. I can't wait to get to where Margaret is retired and living my best life.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mike.
My name is Michael Hurd. I reside in Peoria, Illinois. I am the CEO and founder of Indigenous Protocol, which is a clothing line, which currently is under reconstruction. I'm also a voiceover enthusiast and fashion consultant.
Cool.
Okay. I am Laura Simmons. I am the host. I am an author. I am a motivational speaker. I am a woman that wears many hats. Okay. All right. So who wants to start the conversation off first? Who has their first let's talk about it, y'all.
Our first, let's talk about it.
Okay. So
Okay.
you want to talk first, Ursula, or you want to go first, Michael? Who going
I don't,
first?
I don't care. I'll jump in. So I found it interesting today. Yesterday I read that the former mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, is running for governor. And I
Okay.
think that's very interesting. And two reasons I think it's interesting. The first reason is, let's just face it, his wife is black, and they never wanted him in there. All right. The other thing is, I just read right before the show that he decided not to run. So that'll be interesting to see what happens.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Mm,
Wow, that is
that's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
Who got to
You
I
know,
don't know.
who warned them?
I don't know.
Is he young? Is this ain't the young guy? Is it? That's not the same. Which one is this? This the mayor of what you said? New York.
New York.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's a former mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mayor of New York,
'Cause-
now he's black.
and he young, right? Is that the
He
22
not,
year
No,
old?
no, he not.
no. He's got to be mid 60s at least.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
know somebody's supposed to be 22 years old, and they the mayor of somewhere. I don't remember where I heard it at, but I heard that it was a new mayor.
hmm
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well,
okay, who's next?
I just want to touch on a little bit about what's going on right now with the voting rights. I'm just want to hear some people's opinion about it. You know, that's up for discussion with our government right now.
Okay.
Considering yesterday was Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and that's what he fought for was civil rights and our voting rights, and it wasn't just for us; it was for everybody. So that's my thought.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off of that, Margaret, I wanted to just I guess give a tribute, shout out, however, honor, because we weren't live yesterday on the actual observance day. Just to shout out the great Dr. King.
Mhm.
Of course, like you said, his fight was for everybody, not just black people, not just old people, not just young people. It was for everybody to have equality in various areas of our lives. But I wanted to ask you guys' opinion about something. So I can remember when I was young, and my family's from the country. Of course, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I live in Riverdale, Georgia, but we're from the South, and my family is from the country. It's a place called Union Point. Probably not even on the map, but
It's like that spot right there.
right. It's really come out, but no. So I was about 9 or 10 years old, and we went to this restaurant when we went to visit my families, me, my grandma, and my cousin. And we were in this restaurant, really big restaurant. You know, it was nothing fancy, but just like a diner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we went to eat, to be seated, and they sat us down. No big deal, whatever. But then when the waitress came over, she came over with this really nasty T-shirt. It was like food and everything on it. Carl Thompson says, "Hi guys."
Hey, Carl.
It was food and everything on this T-shirt. And she was like, kind of like, "Can I help you?" She looked nasty. Um, and then I looked over on the other side of the restaurant. This white lady, she was, hair just nicely done. She had on a white waitress uniform and everything. Um, and she was just really pleasant. And I asked my grandma, I said, "Big Mama, why does their waitress look like that and ours look like this?" She said, "Girl, we in the South." She said, "We in the deep South." So what I wanted to ask you, that was my first time experiencing really racism up close. So I wanted to ask you guys, what have you guys experienced, in the years that since Dr. King's death? Like, have you experienced racism personally in your lives?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I have. I'll give you one situation when it happened with me. And when I was working for in one particular government office, I won't say where, and I was helping. The gentleman walked in the office, and he said, and I said, "Yes, may I help you?" And he said, "No, you may not help me." And he told me. He told my coworker. He said, well, he went to her, and she said, "Well, I need to get such and such information about zoning." And she said, she laughed, and I said, and because she knew what he was going to have to do, he was going to have to come back to me. And so she said, "Oh," she said, "You need Margaret." And she pointed him, and his face dropped because he did not want to have to deal with me at all. But
Wow.
she knew that he was being discriminatory. So that's why that's why she did it the way she did it. She said, "Oh, that burned me up when he did that." But she said, I just liked the fact that I had to turn around, and he had to turn around and come right back to you after he was real nasty to you when he walked in here.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
so,
that's interesting.
he had to turn right around and come back and ask, and I got him the information. He didn't want to do that, but he had to.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Michael, what about you? Have you ever experienced anything?
Man, have I? Man, the first one that comes to mind is I was working for a Fortune 500 company. So I was kind of recently out of college, and I had to kind of start at the bottom, which meant you got to work in the shop. I mean, this company was Fortune 500. Okay. So I walked through the doors with, 2 college degrees and experience. And they would not even as much as make me what they call a lead in the shop, because if they had made me a lead, that meant they would have had to make me a supervisor. My boss walked up to his boss one day and said, "You know what? We are underutilizing Hertz background. He shouldn't even be out here. He got more education than me." And he almost was reprimanded for recommending that. And he came and told me that off the record. He was just could not believe it. I said, "Dude, I'm not even surprised."
Wow.
Just the fact that he brought it up.
I know exactly. That happened to me a few years before I retired. That
Yeah.
young lady, me and her both applied for the same supervisor position. I had more than enough credentials than she did, and plus I had my high school diploma. She had her GED. Even
Right.
though I'm not saying that that's better than the other, but usually that does is a little bit more
Mhm.
than your GED. So
Right.
so when it came down to it, they gave the job to her, and I could not, and I couldn't believe it. But I knew why they gave it to her.
Of
And you
course.
know,
Yeah.
she tried to make my life a living hell because I had to tell her off one time before she became my supervisor. So I
Okay.
guess she wanted to pay me back when she became my
Yeah.
supervisor.
And
So
see,
she
that
gave me
brings
the
Okay.
up
worst
that brings
evaluation ever.
that brings up
Mm-hmm.
another point too. Me and a gentleman at work were talking about this, and this is really sad. See, first of all, in the workplace, you cannot, not only can you not be on their level, you have to be lower than them and suffering.
Hmm.
It's got to be
Unfortunately,
those two things. You got to be suffering. If you ain't
yeah,
suffering, then something is wrong here. You
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
Whoa.
and and
Yeah.
and 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 the other thing, they hold grudges. Don't you dare drive a 7-year-old car to work.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
I
You're
Yeah.
in
had that
trouble.
happen to me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, my experience, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about my experience of racism and how it really bothered me really a lot. Okay, so I was in school. I was working at a store. I was working at a retail store in the downtown area of Chicago,
Mhm.
and a Caucasian lady came into the place, and I walked up to her and asked her, "Can I assist her?" Well, she told me that my hands was dirty. I said, "No, I just washed my hands," because I didn't get it at first. I was young. I didn't really get it. I didn't understand.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I told her, I said, "No, my hands are clean. I just washed my hands." So she said, "No, your hands are dirty." And so I didn't get it. And then one of the ladies that was with me, that was working with me, she tapped me and she said, "Laura, I'll take care of," because she knew what she meant. But I didn't know at the time. I didn't understand what she meant.
Oh,
And it
Wow.
bothered me so bad. I felt so little, like you could just squash me like a
Hmm.
roach, because I was like, man, I just can't believe how seriously how people are. And
Yeah.
that was one of my experiences though. Then another experience I never forget, I was like probably about, I want to say probably 17 years old. I was 17 years old, and my mom and I was on the bus heading to Little Rock, Arkansas. We was going to visit my uncle, and I didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on, really, honestly, because I had never seen this up close and personal. But but one of the things that happened was we was on this bus, and all these people was coming. We had stopped at this one stop, and I can't think of where it was, but we stopped at the stop, and there were people with signs and fire, and it scared me so bad. I was so afraid because I had never seen this up close. You see it on TV, but you never see it in person.
right.
So the driver told us that we couldn't get off the bus. He got off the bus to get his gas, the bus filled and cleaned and stuff like that. But he was scared himself because he was African American as well.
Mhm.
And so the police was there, so they couldn't touch him because of the police was there. But they had fire, they had dogs, they had signs and everything. It scared me so bad. And I was asking my mom, I was like, "What's going on?" She said, "We're gonna be all right." But I could see the fear in my mom's eyes, that she
Mhm.
was just as scared as I was,
Mhm.
but she understood what was happening because she had experienced it. And it
Hmm.
was like, wow, that was just something I would never forget as a
Hmm.
17-year-old girl.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see it on a regular basis, And
Hmm.
I had a situation where we had, and this has actually been coming up quite a bit lately, in the real estate world, where with these appraisals, and we had a situation where we was getting ready to sell our home, and we had an appraisal done. Well, the appraisal came back low. I couldn't understand how come the appraisal kept coming back low, when this was a brand new house. It was only 8 years old, and it only myself and my husband lived in it. So it's like, how much damage could we have done to the house? So when we had our appraisal done, it was one amount. When the people who were buying it had theirs done, it was a whole different amount.
Wow.
Higher than what our appraisal was. And when I asked them, I said, how come their appraisal was higher than ours and we just had this appraisal done? Oh, that's because it's the bank, the different lender is someone else is doing it. And I said, I think that's discriminatory. Oh, Margaret, no, that's not what it is. I said, yes, it is. I said, yes, it is.
Yes, it
because
is.
they don't look like me that's getting this appraisal done. And that's why y'all, how come their appraisal came up higher than what we had before we put it on the market. And I said, it's not fair that we have to fight every day in everything we do, and our ancestors built this country.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know what? It's something that we're gonna deal with for the rest of our lives.
Unfortunately,
and it's sad, but it's true. It's true. Anybody else have something that they want to, like a question, something they want to talk about before I get mine in?
Well, first of all, can you even hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't know why is my screen frozen to you?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. You want me to get back out and try to get back in, or just keep flowing?
As long as we can hear you, I guess that's fine.
That's cool. That's cool. No, that's Margaret, that was a great. I'm glad you brought. I just wanted to kind of comment on that. Was a great point you brought up because this has been going on for years. Redlining, and the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? And so these neighborhoods are being turned into neighborhoods for them. And we not only built the neighborhood. That's just like Lakeshore Drive. A lady used to tell me how she said Lakeshore Drive used to not always look like that. When I was a kid, it was, we were allowed to, she said, then they kind of just changed it and flipped it over, and then it became their Lakeshore Drive, So it's all kind of stories out there on that.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean.
Kaz Easton Show said they experienced racism in Washington, D.C. Our bus was surrounded and all the officers had AR-15s. Very scary moment. I immediately went into prayer.
Amen. Amen. I know you did. And it's so sad that we have to experience that. Yeah. And I'm sure others have experienced the same thing with that. And with it being this being the week of Martin Luther King's birthday, it brings back so many memories to me as a child, thinking about, okay, so I was born in the 60s, but I was quite young. But I remember in the 70s, I remember some things that happened in the 70s. And I remember when my sisters, my older two sisters were working at this school for the summer. And I remember we went to this school, and I remember at a certain time they would ring this bell. And when they ring the bell, they would start singing. We all had to start singing, "We Shall Overcome." And I didn't understand a lot of stuff. I didn't understand because I was quite young, but I'm singing the song and I'm like getting all into the song and stuff, but I didn't really realize until I got older what that all meant,
What a moment, though. I mean, all of the Black people had to sing it?
Yeah, we were all in this school. It was a Black school, and we were all in this school, and they would ring this bell at a certain time, and then all of a sudden, everybody had to be still, and they get into this, and they start praying. They pray first, and then all of a sudden, we start singing, "We shall overcome. We shall overcome." And it was amazing. The craziest part of how I remember the assassination of Martin Luther King is I remember it because it's my dad's birthday.
Oh,
he died on my dad's birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the same age as my dad. They were the exact same age. So that's kind of how I remember it. I mean, I wasn't born, but that's what I remember about that.
Wow, Laura, that was a moment, though. Just to hear you talk about it, even to hear you talk about it seems like it was just a beautiful moment, really.
It was the first time. It's so sad that now you look at us now and the people, us in general, how we all just seem so divided now, and it
Yes.
just seemed like we not supportive of each other like we used to be.
No.
We were so much like family. It was like we were really
Yeah,
family
that's
back
true.
then.
Yeah.
Now it's like every man for himself,
Yeah.
And back then, when we did that song, I felt like everybody in the room, we were all sisters and brothers, and we were all family.
Right.
You
And
know,
and bringing and you saying that, Laura, what it makes me think about is like I would say within the last 30 years, where I live at, people are so, unfortunately, Black people are so cliquey. I don't understand how you can be cliquey when you ain't got jack.
no,
That's true.
I mean, what you thinking? What you
That's
thinking?
yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is like, I don't mess with we don't mess with them, and they don't mess with us. Y'all ain't got nothing.
Yeah,
I've never understood that.
yeah.
Well, I think all of that kind of plays into each other, because we come from such an horrific history, and some of us, I'm gonna compare it to this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. You know how when you got that child who is very sheltered, and then when they get to the age where they can do what they can become free. It's like because they've been so sheltered, when they get to the age, it's like I'm gonna do whatever. Some of us took it like that, some Black people took it like that, like, oh, I'm gonna do this because I couldn't do this, they didn't let us do this. I want all the white women because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you know what the funniest thing is when we were coming up. When you look at because I like watching the old shows, like the Sanford and Sons. I still like watching them.
Yeah,
So
me too.
like Good Times. But there was an episode on Good Times that made me think. I said, you know what? If people did that right now, a lot of people wouldn't be put out of their place. And like
The
they had
Parties.
and back in the day, they used to do that. They used to be concerned about their brother. They were their brother's keeper back then. Now you're right. Every man for himself. They could care less about what's going on with you. And it's like they say, it's the crab mentality. But when you think about it, the crab mentality is like this. When I thought about that one time, I said, you know what? They said we like crabs in the bucket. I said, no, I think what I said, if you really look at that concept, the crabs in the bucket is like this. I'm that one crab trying to get out. And then so the rest of them is like, okay, if you're gonna get out, I'm going with you. So I'm gonna hold you. So if you get up, you're gonna pull me up. But we don't do that.
No.
When we get up, it's like, oh, I got me, and you got to get you, because there was an episode on Good Times where the man said he didn't want his daughter dating JJ because he came from.
I remember that.
She said, and he said, and when they came in the house, they come in the house looking around like, oh, that's not good. I don't even want to sit down on your couch. And then he said, and then James told him, he said, you came from here he said, yeah, and I don't want to remember the stench of the ghetto.
Yes.
But he didn't understand it irritated James because he said, you act like I'm not trying to get out just like you did.
Right.
But instead of you trying to help me out, you hold me back and say that you better.
Yeah.
And that's the problem we have as African Americans. Instead of us helping each other and pulling each other up, we don't do that. Because I had a black supervisor, and every chance she got, she was trying to hold me back and hold me down.
Okay, we're gonna take some of the questions on the side here and some of the comments that they're commenting on the side. You want to start with that one, Ursula?
Yeah, Cass Easton Show just said, I just had this discussion the other day. What?
He said this. What? That was the end of right there.
What happened to our unity? Right.
Here's another one.
And Mr. Crystal Baker, 70, said a lot of this separation in self is systematically influenced. That's right.
I concur with that.
She said she meant to say self-hate. Yeah. But that is so true. It's sad, but it's true. And we all just, you just look at each other now, and it's like some of us, because we old school, we still have that thing where I still got to help my brother and I still got to help my sister. And when you try, a lot of times what happens is they'll try and pull you down at the same time as
Yeah, they will.
because of you trying to help them. And these last couple of months, I have seen it so much it ain't even funny, and I have experienced it so much and it's not funny. I just recently I was just telling a friend today about something that happened to me, and I just caught on to it as time went on. I figured it out. I figured out what they were actually doing. Someone was trying to use me, and I figured it out. And I'm like, I said, the sad part is I'm like one of those people that I would give you the shirt off my back if I had it. If you needed it, I would give it to you. But I don't understand why do people feel they got to do crazy stuff to try and hurt others?
Especially your own.
Yeah.
Something else I want. Excuse me. Something else I want to kind of bring up, and it keeps entering my mind. So we talk a lot about Black businesses. I have a Black business. Laura, you have all of us in some way, own Black businesses. One of the biggest, I would say, downfalls, for lack of better, of Black businesses. There's a sense of entitlement in these businesses. And here's what I'm saying. If I come to your restaurant, and this is a true story, but I'm gonna just kind of throw it out there like this. If I come to your Black-owned restaurant and you ranting and raving for people to come there, I come in there and I got to stay up for 15 minutes, ain't but one person in there eating, and then you sit me down to a dirty table, I'm not going to patronize you. I got to say that. I saw this go down. And the thing of it is, when you go out of business, first thing you want to say is Black people don't support each other. No, you should treat everybody like they are your best customer. Everybody's your best customer.
Yeah, that is so true.
It's 400 restaurants here. I chose you. Tell me why.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you, with you saying that, let me tell you what I would do. And this has happened to me, where somebody did some craziness to me, and when in a restaurant or a store or something, and I'll say to them, I'll say, have you stopped to think about that the fact that by me coming in here in your shopping in your shop, that I'm helping pay the salaries of yourself and those people that work for you? And then they'll go, oh, no, you not, because I'm getting it. I'm like, okay, by next week, you probably be closed down. And guess what? 3 weeks later, they closed. And it's because of that. And that's the reason. Your attitude.
And if you're anything like me, you don't wish it on them. You just see it coming.
Yeah.
No.
Raquel Gillette said, I work in healthcare, and I was giving an elderly patient a shower, and she wasn't happy with it. And she looked at me and said, you should be hanging from a tree.
Dang.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow. OMG. She must have was an older lady.
Yeah.
Had to have been somebody older, because that's what they usually say. They will say, and that was what happened with me when I was in the store. And the lady told me that my hands was dirty. She was an elderly Caucasian woman, and she was wrinkled up too. Yeah. And she said to me, when she said that to me, I didn't know what to do. I was like confused, because I'm like, I had never heard nobody say that. And just listening to that, this is sad.
Yeah. See, one thing I want to say about that, Laura, is it reminds me of me. When you're young like that, you don't know all the cold words and all the cold stuff. Some older gentleman had to teach me that.
Yeah.
She said, even though I know this patient is elderly, it still hurts. I know it did. It hurt me. It didn't help. It didn't even happen.
Me just by hearing you say it.
Yeah. And you know that the sad part about this, 10 out of 10 times, it's somebody that can't wipe their own blank.
Yep, you're absolutely
and they need
right.
you, and that's why they family got you to help them.
Right.
And I saw a video on Facebook where this lady kept video recording everything that was happening. She was a care person for this elderly lady, and the lady was spitting on her. She was hitting her. I was saying to myself, Lord have mercy. I said, I don't know. I said, Lord, I don't know if I could have dealt with that. I don't know. I said, because it was, she would pinch her. She would just do, and the lady just kept keeping her phone recording it, because she said she had to let the lady's daughter know this is what she's enduring. And so, and they said the lady, I think she had dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever, but the lady kept on spitting at her and told her, she said, "Get out of my house. Get out of my house."
Oh, yeah, I seen that video.
I can't watch that video. I said, I had to cut it off, because I said, see, I said, because I think I'm a rebel at heart, and I
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I wanna kind of like switch it up a little bit, and I want to ask this question. Okay, so this is my question for today. One of my questions. Okay, so do you think a man should be involved in the decorations of your house, of a home where he got a wife and stuff? Do you think that he should be involved in that?
Okay, as a guy, let me ask you this to make sure I'm answering this right. To what extent? You saying like in any extent, or?
Yeah, in any extent.
Okay.
The whole shebang bang. The whole shebang bang is what I'm saying.
I think that is something that that's something that is worked out between the couple. Let me tell you what I mean. She may not want him messing with it, and he may not want to mess with it. But if he want to mess with it, you got to let him mess with it, because it's communal. It's you guys are married. So I think it was worked out between the two.
Yeah, it depends, because it all depends on what we're talking about. I mean,
Right.
you ain't gonna want the whole house painted pink.
No.
I mean, I'm a woman. I still don't want to paint it all pink.
No.
But it's just some things that that women want in their home, and there's some things that men want in their home. And it's like it's like, for instance, a man cave, for instance. I'm not going to have a whole lot to say about the man cave, but I also want to make sure that I'm invited in that same cave if I want to come in and chill with you. That I ain't got to feel like I'm that this is just a man cave. No, this is part of my house. So so there are certain things that I would think that he should take in consideration, just like I would take in consideration when I'm decorating our house. Like, for instance, if I was decorating my bedroom, or like, and I say, okay, I want everything pink. He may not feel, he ain't gonna feel all pink, because he gonna feel like this ain't just, you ain't single. This ain't just for you.
Right.
So it all depends on how the decorations is being addressed, and in what areas of the house. Because there's some areas you want to say, okay, yeah, you handle that. But then the other times, oh, no, I got this. So that's my thought on it.
I think that, like you said, because you guys have to share that home, I think it's only fair that the guy, if he chooses, like you said, Michael, if he chooses to be a part of it, I think he should, because you want everybody to feel at home when you're at home.
Right.
So I think it's important.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's something you kind of work out. Like, for example, Margaret mentioned about the man cave. So to me, the way that works is, of course, he's gonna be gone home to do the man cave, and she may be like, I don't want nothing to do with that. That's all you. That's cool. But if she, but me, I'm gonna say me personally. I'm single. I live alone. But here's the deal: if that, even though it's my man cave, that is still going to be a healthy space for both of us at any given moment.
Right. Well, I won't feel like I'm out of place in there.
Or I'm intruding.
Like it's a man's dorm room or something. Yeah,
Right.
So, okay. That's exactly how my brother-in-law, his man cave is just like a dude's place. It's black. He loves Georgia Bulldogs. But his whole man cave is Georgia Bulldog out. It looks like no female lives in that man cave, and she's cool with it.
It's usually because you want to get them out your hair every now and then. So hey, I'm okay with that.
It says LaToya Kelly says, so true. We hate on each other daily. Yes.
Her name is LaWanda Kelly. She don't like you, and you said LaToya.
Well, I don't see a D. LaWanda. It's LaWanda. LaWanda. Okay, I'm sorry, LaWanda. Raquel said, I would love for him to show interest in the decorating. Right.
Okay.
Don't still mess with what I got going on.
Okay. All right. So I have another question. Okay. And then after that, then y'all can ask y'all questions or whatever y'all want to answer. Here's another question for y'all. Okay. So when would you say is a good time to sell your home? What are usually signs that it's time to sell your home?
Is that for Margaret?
No, it's, I guess for all of us. But my thought is a good time to sell is in some respects is market value. If the value of it has gone up, or if it's like, say for instance, it's too big. Say for instance, you bought a house and you bought it for you and your kids and your husband and all that, but your kids is all gone. They already moved out and you're empty nesters. Sometime after a while, you start feeling it's just too big and you want to go downsize. You want to get something smaller that's more manageable. And also in some cases, some people say they want it smaller so the kids won't have a reason to come back home.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true.
So I think it all depends if the market is right, yeah, and if you found something that you can actually that if you sold it, you can find something that you won't end up having to use all of your proceeds to buy the other one. You know, that it's beneficial.
So Carl Thompson said he decorated. He said, "I decorated my house. That's my son."
Okay, go ahead. Mike was going to say something.
No,
I apologize.
No, that's okay. What I was going to say is that's a very interesting subject. It's something that I kind of been following for, I don't know, 6 or 7 months. It's been a seller's market for some time now, you know, and that's countrywide. Countrywide, been a seller's market for some time. And so I was listening to a radio interview where these younger couples are trying to buy houses now. They're making 6 figures a piece. You know what I'm saying? And they're paying upwards of $20,000 more than what the house is valued at, or the last appraisal. Because it's the same with used cars too. You know, they're like, if you got a used car and it's halfway decent, you better hold on to it.
Yeah, and fix it up.
Yeah.
because it's actually because they ask you if you want to sell that car every day almost. You sure you don't want to sell it? I think that's why when you go to have a car repaired, sometimes they try to find all kind of stuff wrong with it, so you can say, you know what, let me go ahead and trade it.
Yeah,
that's what they want you to do.
Yeah. So we're gonna open up the comments where people can ask the question. If you got a question, please post it in the comments. But right now we're gonna continue talking. We're gonna talk about something. Anybody else got?
I want to bring up something great.
Okay,
I want to bring up our views on our YouTube channel, guys. Now, listen, and I know, people watching, listening may not. I'm going to break it down because I want y'all to know how important these numbers are. So for our first show, we have a total, as of about 30 minutes ago, 1,000 views. For our second show, we have 917 views. Now, hear me now. The first show, which was 2 weeks ago, we have 1,000 views, which means because the other show was 1 week ago, it picked up speed because we have almost 1,000 in that 1 week. Right. So I have seen where I have my own personal YouTube. And unless you are doing some type of challenge or whatever, you usually don't get that many views in that short of a period of time. So those numbers mean that we're doing well, guys. So I just want to give everybody a hand.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. That's really good.
You can't see me, but I'm clapping right now. So
I just go out and come back in so we can see you, Michael. I don't want to see just one eye no more. I want, you might as well see.
That's my mean lean. Come on now.
Oh, that's your mean.
That's a gangster lean.
There you go. That's my gangster lean.
Oh, and I wanted to tell y'all something else. Okay, I know I said that was my last one, but this I had to say this. Somebody said congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Clapping.
Okay, so this is one thing I wanted to say also to y'all. Okay, so about remember I was telling y'all I had something I wanted to talk about last week. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. So I was in a store in the store where they're not African American owned. Well, certain stores I don't shop at anymore because I don't like the following around the store. I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm not with the you watching me like I'm gonna take something. I don't go to those kind of stores.
I know what kind of store.
Okay, so I was in a store the other day, and I was getting my lottery ticket. I like to play a scratch off here and there and stuff like that. So I'm going to get my scratch off tickets. So there was a line in the store. There was a line in the store. Now they got two registers going, but they got one is for the lottery and one is for people that's purchasing. So I get into the line. I'm the next person in line. So the guy says to me, the lottery machine is down. Now, mind you, it was a lady before me had just purchased some tickets from the lottery. So you can't buy scratch offs or none of that. So I asked, because I asked a couple of other stores that I go to, I asked them that question. Can you buy lottery tickets if the lottery machine is down? Can you buy scratch offs? And they said no, unless you go through the machine to get it.
Right.
So now, mind you, he had just sold some tickets to this lady that was before me, and that was because she was purchasing liquor. I wasn't purchasing liquor, so he told me that the lottery machine was down. So I said to him, I told him, I said, you know, I know that you're lying. I told him that. I said, I know you're lying because the machine, if the machine is down, you cannot purchase scratch off tickets either.
Right.
So but my thing was, my biggest problem was because this is not the first time I've seen these people treat African American women like bull crap. And so before I knew it, I had got so heated, but I didn't go off. You know why I didn't go off? Because I know there's another way to get at him. So my thing is, I'm gonna hit them pockets. Exactly. That's how you get them. You get them by hitting the pockets. So what I said I was going to do is I said I was going to start protesting because I'm tired. I'm tired of being treated badly because we're African American women.
Yeah.
You know, and I just thought that was just like, I'm like, wow. He said, no, it's not working. It's not working. I said, dude, you just gave her some tickets. Or because I'm not purchasing liquor, that's why you can't sell me tickets. And I got really upset and I was really offended by it, you know, because, you know, I've seen them in action, how they treat African American women.
Yeah.
Women, period.
Women, period. Yeah.
Well, mainly I'm talking about the sisters, because, you know, the other nationalities, they're not going to really, you know, you're not going to do too much to them, right? You're not going to do too much to them and get away with it because they're gonna stand up, and guess what's going to happen? Now you got their men coming in and they're stepping up and standing up for them. And on our side, it's not the same thing. You know, we basically standing alone when we dealing with situations like that. We're basically standing alone.
Yeah, sometimes we are.
Huh?
Sometimes our men join in. And
yeah, exactly. Yep. And allow it to happen. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I did see one on Facebook one time where this guy was talking trash to this woman, and her boyfriend was about to light him up, and he had to back down then because he realized then he was like, you ain't gonna sit there and talk to my wife, my girl like that. And he was like, well, he said, no, you ain't finna do that. And I said, I wish a lot more of them do that, was take up. You know, and that one thing for sure, I know for sure, nobody gonna talk about me any kind of way. If my husband is present, no, it's a wrap. They going down because he ain't gonna let nobody talk to me any kind of way. I just see him in action. My husband got the most funny color eyes, and they change all colors when he get mad. And so I already know.
So before you say it, what was your input on that, Michael? Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did hear it. I mean, the thing of it is, like you said, you were going to start protesting, and the thing about and the reason that word stands out in my mind is because Black people have been protesting for years. And the thing that bothers me about that is, I mean, it's a great concept, you know, it's from the 50s and the 60s. But what Black people will cancel somebody in 5 minutes and they won't buy their clothes for 27 hours. And then next thing you know, they right back at it. You know, they
See, I'm not
that's
that
just
person.
like, to me, call me crazy. Yeah, but let me say this though, call me crazy, but I'm still pissed off at Starbucks. I drive past them all the time. I ain't buying nothing from Starbucks. The place where I shop at and do my grocery shopping, they have a Starbucks inside. I do not patronize Starbucks. I know. And I know they've, you know, done some things to make amends and stuff like that. But I need to see more Black employees working there. That's another thing too.
Okay. Well, most of them throw the coffee at people, so that's probably why they don't have them in it.
You said what?
Yeah, they wouldn't hire me because I be drinking, I be sipping out of people's stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you know they were in trouble because somebody had actually put a racist remark on somebody's cup one time. I was like, wow. I said, you
Really?
and you still in this
I missed that one.
Yeah, somebody made a racist remark on somebody's cup.
Okay, Ursula. Now you can go ahead to that question.
Cass Easton Show just asked, how do you all feel about dating at age 50 and over? I find it to be very difficult. I agree with you. Before anybody say anything, I agree.
No. Hey,
I'm not on the market, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it, and that's funny. She should ask that because I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I mean, the only way you're gonna know somebody is to see them frequently. They call that dating, okay? But what I'm saying is, this is a saying I made up. Okay, I've had enough of what I don't want to know what I do want. So you know, let's cut through all the layers. That's just my take.
Well, you know, I had a nephew told me one time, and he's not in his 30s and 50s, he's in his 30s. He said to me, not too long ago, he said, Auntie, I said, you got a girlfriend? He said, no, I'm just going for what's mine. You know, he said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend as a exclusive relationship. I said, why not? He said, because the girl hurt me. He said, she broke my heart. He said, and I do not trust women right now. He said, so I'll just date them and just do what I need to do and keep it moving. He said, and besides, he said, the young women in my age group in the 30s, he said, he said, they are nowhere near the women that y'all are. He said, and they need to be. He said, but they're not.
Right.
I was shocked to hear it from my nephew, from somebody in that age group in his 30s. He's like, he'll be 38 soon. And he said, I don't see. He said they don't carry themselves like y'all do. He said I don't see no kind of real relationship in them. He said all they want is what they can get from us. He said,
you know, when you and not that I would ever date somebody that I'm in my early 50s, but not that I would date somebody, you know, in their, you know, that young. But here's what I'm saying to you: a lot of I think a lot of what goes into that. If there is a woman your nephew's age, he already taken. That the one that carries himself like you or your age group, she already sopped up like gravy.
Right. Well,
you know
I think what he wants is he wants someone with a maturity and a mindset of like women in our age group that ain't got time for playing games. You got some young ladies out here who do want more than just, you know, a lay in the hay. They want more. They want somebody who want more in a relationship. So you got some young ladies out there in their 30s that do want more than just that. But you got a lot of them who all they want is paper and a hay. And a lot of them don't like that. Some of these young men don't like that. Leave something to the imagination.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have no comment on it because I'm just gonna pass on that one. Let's go to the next. What is she saying there, Ursula?
Let me say something right quick.
Okay, go ahead, because I don't want to even go there.
I want to say
jump in there.
It you know, I think that those women that just want to lay in the hay and just want the man for the paper and what they can't, what they got and what they can do. I think they make it more difficult for women of standard like myself, because and men have said, I'm not gonna court. I'm not gonna court a woman when I can go down the street and buy a woman a Big Mac and pay a bill, and she'll do what I want her to do. And I'm not ready to get in a relationship because I don't have to.
Yeah.
So okay, so peace, bro. I mean, no hard feelings,
Exactly. But the funny thing about that is, if that's the flip side, they put us in a whole different category where a man do what he want to do, but a woman, she's in a whole different category if she did that. So
well, it's total different standards. It goes all the way back to the nuclear family. You got a husband and a wife and 2 children. The nuclear family. So back when I was growing up in the late 60s and early 70s, my mother did not have to work. She worked to get out of the house. She worked in a school cafeteria just to get out of the house, have her own little spending change. And my father did not make, when I turned 21 and found out how little he made, it brought tears to my eyes. He had these 8 kids. I'm like, how'd you do that, dude? But what I'm saying is that was the mentality then. And it just seemed like in the late 70s, families just started breaking up, divorce or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raquel Gillette said, is a single woman who co-parents with an involved and financially contributing father still considered a single mother? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are.
Yeah.
If y'all not married.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cass Easton Show said, most people are set in their ways. Yeah, people are set in their ways.
Yeah, in their 50s. Yeah, when they get in their 50s, they are. They set in their ways. I never forget when my sister told me, wait till you turn 50. She said, she said, wait till you turn 40. She said, you're going to see a difference in yourself. I didn't think so. I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to be the same, man. That. She said, watch, you'll see what I'm talking about. And sure enough, as soon as I turned 40, I was like, my whole attitude was totally different. Then when I got to 50, I was like, even worse. It's like, what?
And I remember when my mom used to say all the time when she would say, here, thread this needle for me. And I'm like, you can't see that.
Yeah.
and like, you can't see that. And she would always say, keep living. That's all she would say. Keep living. She said, if you live to be my age one day, you'll see what I'm talking about. And Lord knows she ain't never lied.
Yeah, that little hole look like
trying to close one eye and the other eye still can't see it.
Yep, you do it like this, trying to put that little thread in there. It's like, oh my gosh,
It's like, dang. I said she told the truth about that, because I mean, even that hole looked like it got extremely smaller. Because you sitting up there trying to close one eye, then trying to close another eye, you still can't. You still can't see. And you think you got it, and all of a sudden you realize the thread is still outside of the hole.
That's a mental thing too, boy. It mess you up.
Yeah.
Like, man, I understand what she's saying. Oh, keep living. Yep. Keep living.
Yes, she did. She used to say that all the time.
That's funny.
So we want to tell you guys, because we winding down in our time. We ain't completely there yet, but I just want to say to you guys, make sure that you are following us on Instagram at Inspirational Talks it's Inspirational Talk with L_Simmons. That's on Instagram. On YouTube is Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. So make sure that you subscribe to that channel, follow, like, comment. We do read comments, and we truly appreciate all comments.
Yeah,
good or bad, we still read them.
Can I ask a quick question here?
Sure, go ahead.
I pose this to the panel. Now, this is something that I heard on the news yesterday. So, the Supreme Court justices, they have been, they meet every so often. So all of the judges were instructed let me back up. So is her last name Sotomayor? Judge Sotomayor. Am I pronouncing that right?
Sotomayor.
What is it again?
It's Sotomayor or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So y'all know what I'm talking about. So here's the thing. And I found this very interesting. She's been diabetic, I think, most of her life. You know, I didn't know that. And there's a lot of stuff you don't know. But she's been diabetic most of her life. So she has said, hey, I'm gonna come to the meetings, but it's gonna be via, StreamYard or Zoom or whatever. And so because she wasn't coming because the justices were not wearing masks. So the head justice, I think his name is Roberts, he told everybody, look, in the interest of everybody here, we are one as a team, wear a mask. So everybody wore a mask except this one court justice. And he just happens to be appointed by Trump. Now, what y'all think about that? So she still can't come to the meetings in person.
Wow.
You know how some people are. They think they're entitled to do what they want to. And I had a discussion with somebody today similar to that. And but I gave her a common sense response for it. I told her. She said I don't think anybody should be required to wear a mask. I don't think anybody should be required to get vaccinated unless they and because they still have issues about it. I said, well, let me ask you this question. I said, if you got COVID, I said, and they had put you in the hospital, I said, and they had to pump you with everything they got to save your life, and you still don't know what's in that. Would you rather go through all that medication that they pump it into your body than to just get one vaccine that could probably help prevent you from going through all that? Whereas, like I said, I know some people have gotten sick since they got vaccinated. I said, but their diagnoses are a whole lot better now than it was when they didn't get the vaccine. I said, so which one would you prefer? She said, well, that does make sense. I said, yeah, it does make sense. I said, because when you think about it, I said, all them people in that hospital right now that's getting pumped in all this medication that they're experimenting on them with to try to save their life. I said, you would rather be one of them people than to be just somebody who just took the vaccine and be done.
Okay. So what's your answer to what his question was? That's all we want to know, because we running out of time. So we got to get the answer.
I think they all should have been wearing a mask. If the head of the Supreme Court said we all gonna wear masks, we're uniform, then they all should have been wearing a mask. He shouldn't have been able to just not wear one and it's okay. No.
Because Ursula, what you think? What you think, Ursula?
I just think that there's always going to be that one who has to go against the grain, just because of his nature. I sometimes think Raquel said, I don't think so. That's why these issues be tricky. You debate about it. But I think that we can even make it, of course, biblical. Their enemies gonna always try to get in where you can. You're gonna always have that just one, So.
Okay. So my opinion, I think that I think that he should have everyone should have on a mask, because this thing is killing people. It's taking people out of here, and it's not stopping because you look a different color, your different shape, and because you're a female, you're a male. It's not looking at that. It's taking any and everybody out. So I think my answer to that question is, I think he should have on a mask.
Of course.
Yep.
Okay,
guys.
He don't have to like it, but he need to respect her respect the fact that she it's fair. She got to go home to her family just like he do.
Raquel said to the question that somebody asked about being a single, she said she's a single woman, not a single parent. Yeah, I just don't agree with that. If they're not married, I think she's still a single parent.
What are we talking about?
The question that she had asked at the top. She had asked this question.
Oh, is a single woman.
Okay. So we gotta roll down the time, y'all. So anybody wanna give your last words before we get ready to close out the show, because we gotta get ready to end the show in like 6 minutes.
I want to ask everybody watching, if you're watching it now, I want to ask you guys to do this for me, to please follow my granddaughter's page on Instagram if you have an Instagram account. It is GI_GI, and next time I might put, no, I don't want to put it up here, but it's Gigi's girl, but it's like a bunch of underscores. So I don't know how to put it in the thing, but she's on Instagram, and so I'm trying to build her page up. But also, I am blue_Lewis69 on Instagram. And also, one more. My daughter, she makes t-shirts. She has her own t-shirt company called Shiny Side Up. And so, y'all, please follow her on Instagram. She does some really good work, custom-made t-shirts for any occasion. So,
Okay. Michael, do you have anything you want to say before closing out?
I just want to say this one mainly goes out to all the listeners and the viewers. Hey, this is on our third show. I think our numbers are absolutely through the roof, and just to know that you guys are watching and subscribing encourages me to stay on this discourse.
Okay, Margie, you have anything you want to say before we come?
I just say my thought is stay focused on the purpose.
Okay. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. I want to say that first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say make sure that you guys go out and subscribe to our page, Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends, on YouTube, and Inspirational Talk with L_Simmons on Instagram. Somebody said, awesome show. Good stuff. Thank you so much. We appreciate you tuning in to the show. All right, you guys. So, y'all want to say bye to everybody?
Bye to everybody.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We know you could have been doing anything on a Tuesday night, but you tuning into our show, and we really, truly appreciate it. And we're gonna in a couple, and I think what next? Oh, we got another show on Thursday. We have an author that's coming in on Thursday, so make sure you guys tune in Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have author Paul Lamar Hunter as our guest on Thursday, so we'll be back with the guests on Thursday. So make sure you tune in on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. What's the date? What's Thursday's date? January what? Anybody
20th.
know? January 20th.
20th.
Yeah. It's January 20th.
Yeah, January 20th.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's play our little song before we get out of here, because we got a couple of minutes here.
Ain't that bird song again, is it?
No.
Taking off.
Make sure y'all go follow Grandma Lala. Story time with Grandma Lala. She is crazy. She has a website also, guys. It's Storytime with www.storytimewithgrandmalala.com. So go check her page out. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. And it's a wrap, y'all. Love y'all.
All right, peace.
Bye. Where is it?